Education meeting Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026. At this time, I would like to have a moment of silence. Thank you. As we begin our meeting this evening, I want to recognize that it is National Reading Month, a time to celebrate the joy and the power of reading. Across our schools, students and staff are engaging in activities that spark imagination, build knowledge, and strengthen literacy. I want to thank the educators, the families, for fostering the love of reading every day. And in honor of Dr. Seuss's birthday this week, I share this quote: "The more that you read, the more you will know." Thank you. Pledge of Allegiance.
Yes, sir. We have two students that will be leading the Pledge of Allegiance tonight. So I'd like to ask Charbel Awad and Cayenne Witherspoon if they will come up to the front at this time.
Short and sweet. Like that.
You guys can stand right up here. And whenever you guys are ready to start, we'll start with you, okay?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. That sounded wonderful. All right, approval of the agenda. I'll entertain a motion.
I move we approve the agenda as presented.
I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented. Do I hear a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Approval of the minutes from the January 6, 2026 meeting, the January 27th, 2026 work session, and the February 17th, 2026 work session. I will entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
So moved.
I have a motion to approve the minutes of those three meetings. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Student of the month, Dr. Juanita Fall.
You want your cane? No. All right.
Structure.
Gotcha.
All right, good evening. Tonight we had the honor of having two students as our Student of the Month and Pledge leaders. So first, I'd like to call up Charbel Awad, student at Rocky River Elementary School, as our first Pledge leader. Charbel was selected by the administrative team at Rocky River Elementary, and here's a little bit about what they had to share about him and why he was nominated. We are so proud to recognize Charbel Awad as the MGSD Student of the Month. He consistently demonstrates kindness, thoughtfulness, and a genuine love of learning that shines through everything he does. From an early age, he has shown an impressive thirst for knowledge. He's inquisitive, attentive, and deeply engaged in his learning. In first grade, he began participating in our dual language program after it became evident that he had a strong desire to speak more languages than just the two he already was fluent in, Arabic and English. This curiosity and drive continue to motivate him as he takes responsibility for his own learning each day. Beyond his academic dedication, he is a supportive and helpful classmate. He willingly assists others and contributes positively to the learning environment. He especially enjoys sharing what he's learning with Ms. Earnhardt and Ms. Kayamba whenever they visit the classroom or they see him in the hallway. He also demonstrates strong character outside of the classroom. At school events, he's attentive and caring towards his younger siblings and consistently shows respect towards his parents. These qualities reflect the values that we hope to instill in all of our students. We're incredibly proud of his efforts, his positive attitude, and his strong racer spirit. He is truly deserving of this recognition. Please join me in congratulating Charbel as our Student of the Month for February 2026.
School District. Board of Education recognizes you, Charbel Alwood, as a Student of the Month for leading the Pledge of Allegiance. Board of Education meeting, well, this says February.
It was from February, from the snow.
March 3rd, 2026.
Give him another round of applause. All right, for our next Pledge Leader and Student of the Month for March, I'd like to call up Kyan Witherspoon, a student at Parkview Elementary School. Let's give him a round of applause. Kyan was selected by Miss Starnes, a teacher at Parkview Elementary, and here's what she had to share about him. Kyan exemplifies the very best in what it means to be a Parkview patriot. He consistently demonstrates kindness, safety, respect, and responsibility in his daily actions. Kyan arrives to school prepared and eager to learn, approaches challenges with determination and perseverance, never allowing a difficult task to stand in his way. What truly sets him apart, though, and the reason he's being recognized as a standout student, is that he truly has the heart of a patriot. His compassion and integrity, which he models towards others, is like no other. Without being asked, he has taken it upon himself to support a classmate who faces some physical challenges. Each day he helps his friend pack and unpack his belongings, assists with putting on the coat and hat for recess during the colder months, and offers his hand while walking through the hallways to provide an extra balance and reassurance. These acts of kindness are not prompted or expected. They are simply a reflection of his character. His thoughtfulness has been an incredible support to both his classmate and his teacher, and even more importantly, it has provided a student who sometimes struggles to make connections a genuine friend and trusted companion. His actions demonstrate empathy, leadership, and a strong sense of community. He is a remarkable role model for his peers and a true embodiment of the values that we hope to instill in all of our students. Kyan is, without question, a truly exceptional and one-of-a-kind student. Please join me in congratulating our March Student of the Month, Kyan Witherspoon.
Grade School District, Board of Education recognizes you, Kyan Witherspoon, as Student of the Month for leading the Pledge of Allegiance. Board of Education meeting, March 3rd, 2026. Thank you very much.
Done with it.
Give him another round of applause. All right, we also have two Artists of the Month to recognize. We're going to start with our Artist of the Month from February. So tonight we have the honor of recognizing several students of our Artists of the Month. First up, we have Miss Everham's first grade classroom at Rocky River Elementary. This class was nominated by Miss Nelson, teacher at Rocky River. And before I share a little bit about them, I'll ask them to come up front at this time. We're going to go ahead and get my Okay, perfect. You can tell they're excited to perform for us.
Little duckies.
All right, I'm going to share a little bit about you, and then everyone will get to see you perform, okay? All right, Miss Abraham's class has been selected as the Artist of the Month for their creativity, teamwork, and joyful commitment to the performing arts. Over the past several weeks, these students worked together to bring a story to life through expressive acting, careful listening, and the thoughtful use of classroom instruments. They practiced their parts, supported each other, and learned how to function as a true ensemble. Many of these students were also dedicated members of the acting club, where they consistently demonstrated responsibility, cooperation, and a genuine love for performance. Their storybook theater presentation reflects not only their growing musical and dramatic skills, but also their willingness to take brave risks and share their learning with others. We are proud to celebrate their hard work, and we are excited to present Ms. Abraham's class as our Artists of the Month. Let's give them a round of applause.
Oh, yeah, it's on. All right, while I'm walking back over here, I also want to announce it's Music in Our Schools Month during the month of March, so make sure you thank a music teacher sometime. All right, and with that, we are going to get started. Once upon a time, upon a nest, beside a lake, there lived 2 ducks, a mother duck and a father duck. There were 5 eggs in the nest. Mother duck sat upon the nest all day and all night through howling wind and driving rain, looking after the eggs, all 5 of them. Then one bright morning, the eggs began to hatch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Little beaks poked out into the sunlight, and 1, 2, 3, 4 little ducklings shook their feathers in the breeze. But the 5th egg did nothing.
Will she ever hatch?
Said Father Duck.
She will.
Said Mother Duck.
In her own time. Father duck is worried. Mother duck is worried. Little duck, a little one in her own time.
And sure enough, she did. Go ahead.
She's very small.
Said Father Duck.
What shall we call her? We'll call her Ruby.
Said Mother Duck.
As she's small and pesky.
Rufus, Worry, Rosie, and Rebecca ate whatever they were given. They ate anything and everything. But Ruby ate nothing. Said Father Duck.
She will.
Said Mother Duck.
In her own time. Father duck is worried.
Mother Duck is fine.
Mother duck, a little one
In her own time. And sure enough, she did. All right. Rufus, Rory, Rosie, and Rebecca swam off wherever they were able. They swam anywhere and everywhere, but Ruby swam nowhere.
Will she ever swim?
Said Father Duck.
She will.
Said Mother Duck.
In her own time. Father duck is worried. Mother duck is fine. Mother duck, the little one in her own time.
And sure enough, she did. Rufus, Rory, Rosie, and Rebecca grew bigger And Ruby grew bigger too. Her feathers grew out and her wings grew broad and beautiful. And when Rufus, Rory, Rosie, and Rebecca began to fly, Ruby flew too. Rufus, Rory, Rosie, and Rebecca flew far and wide. They flew out across the water. They flew up among the trees. But Ruby flew farther and wider. She flew out beyond the water. She flew up above the trees. She flew anywhere and everywhere. She stretched out her beautiful wings and soared high among the clouds. Mother Duck and Father Duck watched Ruby fly off into the distance. Good mother. Good mother. Said Mother Duck. Said Father Duck. And sure enough, she did. Mother Duck is worried. Father Duck is fine. What about the little one in her own time? The end.
Okay, so that's all them? And you can just get this. Okay, all right.
Oh, she was fun.
Leave ya.
You can tell we practiced really hard on that.
We can improve on this. All right, I'm gonna go to this side. All right. The Mooresville Graded School District Board of Education recognizes Ms. Taylor Evernham's first grade class as the Artist of the Month. Board of Education meeting March 3rd, 2026. Congratulations, guys, and I have certificates for you. Thank you.
Yeah, don't take that with you. Thank you so much. All right, we have our next Artist of the Month. Our next student to be recognized as Artist of the Month is Mary Umberger, student at Parkview Elementary. So I'll ask Mary to come up front at this time. Let's give her a round of applause. Mary was nominated by Miss Jones, teacher at Parkview Elementary. And while I'm sharing a little bit about you, you can hold your artwork so that everybody can see it, okay? Mary is a joy to have in visual arts class and the art club at Parkview Elementary School. In addition to her artistic talent, she exemplifies what it means to be a Parkview patriot. Mary consistently shows kindness towards others and demonstrates respect for teachers, peers, school property, and herself. She also is highly responsible in class, completing assignments and managing her time effectively and following directions with care. The artwork Mary showcased this month is inspired by Mexican amate paper art. Through this project, Mary and her fellow second grade classmates learned about this as a traditional and ancient art form made from the bark of fig and mulberry trees. Students explored how the process remained largely unchanged for thousands of years. involving soaking the bark, boiling it with lime, and beating it to a pulp to create paper with a distinctive rustic texture. They then used bright, vivid colors to paint depicting the sun, birds, flowers, and scenes from daily life. As Mary's art teacher, I'm very proud of her artistic growth and her accomplishments in earning this title of Artist of the Month. I hope she continues to use her creativity and talent to express herself through art throughout her entire life. Please join me in congratulating Mary as our March Artist of the Month. Now, Mary, if you're okay with it, we're going to keep that and we're going to hang it up in our central office so everybody can see it, okay? Then we'll get it back to you soon. Let's give her another round of applause. All right, each month we also have the honor of recognizing a district employee who goes above and beyond demonstrating core value of our district. So this month we'll recognize 2 staff members as we missed our February meeting. So first off, we will start with Ella Donahue, Instructional Assistant at Rocky River Elementary. Ms. Donahue is nominated by the administrative team at Rocky River Elementary. I'd like to ask her to come up front at this time. Let's give her a round of applause. Here is a little bit about what they had to share about Ms. Donahue. What a ray of light Ms. Ella has been since her arrival at Rocky River. We needed a special individual to join one of our significant population classrooms, and she continues to bless us with her spirit, love, knowledge, care, and willingness each and every day. With students who change minute to minute, Miss Ella doesn't miss a beat with her supervision and teaching. Her bright spirit shines when she welcomes her students off the bus. And boy, are they just as eager to see her. She has quickly learned each child's interests, patterns, triggers, and needs, working alongside her colleagues and through the guidance from her teacher. Ms. Ella strives to further her education, to work with students with special needs, and is gaining a better understanding with her current role. Her calm and positive demeanor helps her students thrive in the learning environment, and her approach in working with students is wonderful to see. Ms. Ella has so many talents and wonderful characteristics. Our students in school are better because she's a member of our team. We're grateful for her commitment to our students and staff. Her professionalism, care, and attitude is appreciated and does not go unnoticed. Please join me in congratulating Ms. Donahue as our February 2026 ABCD Award winner.
The Morton Grade School District recognizes you, Ella Donahue, for going above and beyond the call of duty, February, March 2026. Congratulations. I know you do it every day, all the time, and we certainly appreciate it.
All right, for our next ABCD award for March, we will call up Kiana Foy, TSC Instructional Assistant at Parkview Elementary. Ms. Foy, if you'll come up front at this time. Ms. Foy was nominated by the administrative team at Parkview Elementary, and here's a little bit about why they nominated her. Ms. Foy serves as the instructional assistant in our TSC classroom, but her impact reaches far beyond that role. She's a true example of authentic relationships in action. From the moment a student qualifies for TSC and is scheduled to transition, she begins preparing a welcome and supportive space. She collaborates with the teachers and the administrative team to review student information so that she can understand their needs before they even walk in the door. When students and families arrive for their first day at Parkview, they are greeted not just with a plan, but with genuine care, warmth, and intention. Ms. Foy immediately begins building rapport with students using thoughtful strategies to help them feel safe, supported, and part of the school family. She reaches out to parents, opens lines of communication, and fosters ongoing problem-solving partnerships. Because of these efforts, students and families experience success rooted in trust and connection. Her work reflects our district's core belief in creating an environment that is welcoming to all, where every voice is valued and every person knows they belong. Ms. Foy is deeply invested in each student's growth and their ability to transition back into a full classroom environment. She doesn't just support students, she ensures that they are seen, valued, and truly connected to our community. Beyond the classroom, Ms. Foy willingly steps in to assist in other areas of the building and is always willing to lend a hand during school events. Her presence, positivity, and willingness to serve wherever needed further strengthens the sense of community that defines Parkview Elementary. Please join me in congratulating Ms. Foy as our March ABCD Award winner.
The Mooresville Graded School District Board of Education recognizes Tiana Foy for going above and beyond the call of duty March 2026.
All right, next up, we have two groups to recognize for our Spotlight on People. We will start with our Mooresville Graded School District National Board Certified Teachers. Tonight, we have the opportunity to proudly recognize and congratulate MGSD educators who either attained or renewed National Board certification. So when I call their name, if you'll please come up to the front. Jesse D. Francisco from Parkview Elementary. Cynthia Hamilton, Selma Burke Middle School. Angela Johnson, Selma Burke Middle School. Allison Joy, Mooresville High School. Tanya Kepley, East Mooresville Intermediate School. Lindsay Stowers, South Elementary School. And Deborah Welburn, Parkview Elementary School. As part of the certification process, these candidates have to build a portfolio that includes student work samples, assignments, video samples, and a thorough analysis of their classroom teaching. This is a year-long, lengthy process, as they can all attest to, that requires a significant investment of time and energy by each participant. Certification by the National Board is considered to be the highest credential in the teaching profession. Please join me in congratulating our National Board certified teachers as our Spotlight on People.
The Mooresville Graded School District Board of Education recognizes all you wonderful ladies at your various schools for demonstrating continued teaching excellence and officially achieving National Board for Professional Teaching Standards certification status Board of Education meeting. This will be March 3rd, 2026. Congratulations, ladies.
right, next up, we have Mooresville High School's competitive cheer team, North Carolina High School Athletic Association Invitational Champions. So I'd like to ask them to come up front at this time. All right, the Mooresville High School competitive cheer team had a record-breaking season. They won first place at 2 regional competitions in Concord and Greensboro in the D1 large varsity division, securing bids to 2 different national competitions, one in Texas and one in Florida. The team accepted the invitation to Orlando and had the opportunity last month to compete against top teams in the nation in the D1 large varsity division at Disney's ESPN Wild World Sports. In addition to the regional wins, the team also won the North Carolina High School Athletic Association D1 Large Varsity Division at the annual invitation event, bringing home Mooresville High School's first ever championship at this event for competitive cheerleading. This team overcame many obstacles this season with several injuries, the invitational being canceled and then rescheduled due to a fire, redoing routines for nationals, then missing some key practices due to snow leading up to nationals. These girls have risen to every challenge they have faced and done it with a positive attitude and determination to prove they are at the top of their sport. These athletes have worked hard every week since June to perfect their craft, and that drive paid off this season with many victories and firsts for Mooresville High School competitive cheer. Please join me in congratulating the competitive cheer team as our March Spotlight on People recipient.
Okay. I know your coach is all the way on the other end. Take a couple steps if I may. The Mooresville Graded School District Board of Education recognizes Coach Gary Hamilton, Mooresville High School cheer team, NCHS AA Invitational Champions. Board of Education meeting, March 3rd, 2026. Congratulations, ladies. You made us all proud. You guys worked hard, and much congratulations. And I'm gonna hand this to your coach, and I'll let her pass it on. Awesome. Ladies, you want, ladies, we'll wait. We'll wait.
All right, next up, we have 2 different schools who will be sharing school highlights, but first up will be Rocky River Elementary, so I'll call them up front at this time.
Thank you, Board of Education, Chairman Whitfield, and Dr. Gardner for having us here on March 3rd and allowing us to have a few days off in February to enjoy a beautiful blizzard. I know we all appreciated that. It was a beautiful moment for us here in Mooresville. So what we want to talk about today is we want to highlight our maximizing achievement school improvement goal. And it is rooted in the understanding that our fluency often lends to our ability to comprehend a text. So if we're constantly trying to break up a word, even if we were studying higher level university text, then we're not comprehending what we're reading, because all of our brain power, at least for me, is going to try to figure out how to say the word. And in the last few years in North Carolina, we really shifted our focus to the science of reading and letters, which was appropriate and is still appropriate. Our students have to be able to read the words before they can comprehend them. But in doing so, we maybe let that pendulum swing a little too far over, and we drop the ball on comprehension, if we were to be honest. And we saw that, our data for that is seen in the beginning of grade tests for our third graders at MIS and EMIS, where the beginning of third grade began to dip a little bit. So we have to respond to the data, even if we don't love the data we're looking at. And so our school district decided to adopt a reading comprehension program across all 3 elementary schools for reading comprehension, and that is Reading Ready. And that's what we're going to present to you today. So at Rocky River, we wanted to increase our students' oral reading fluency using the DIBELS test, which is a state test that we use in kindergarten through 5th grade, honestly, but really big in kindergarten through 2nd. That's our main data point for reading. And at the beginning of the year, we had 16 students, or 12% of our 2nd graders, meeting end-of-year expectations for 2nd grade. And we plan, and we will, get at least 94 students, or 72% of that grade level, to end-of-year expectations by the end of 2nd grade. And so our plan to do so is by getting our students in grade level text, and that is where Reading Ready comes into. So Reading Ready allows for our students to have their eyes every single day on grade level appropriate text for 2nd grade. They get to actually hold the book that we have here, and we'll share with y'all in a minute, and have their eyes on the text, use good reading strategies with their fingers following along below the lines of words. They can whisper read it. They're building their stamina. Some of these passages are longer and some are shorter, and then also having that independence within that text and having confidence, because not only do you need to be able to read the words on the page to comprehend them, you also have to believe in yourself. So the more you experience something, the more that belief is built. So our instructional coach got a little competitive in pickleball. And so she is out recovering from an ACL tear. And so she recorded for us an overview of Reading Ready. Yeah, don't play pickleball. It's not that serious. And Rob. So she has recorded herself to give everybody an overview of this program, because it does look a lot like the old textbook that many of us grew up with, but it is so much more than that. It's purposeful in what it's having our students read. It's exciting text. Today I watched classes read about a puppy named Benjamin Franklin. At first I was like, wait, we're going back to President's Day, but no, it's a dog. And they just really get into it, and the students enjoy the text. So here is Miss Wally.
The North Carolina Standard Course of Study calls for rigorous reading instruction, and Ready Reading is designed to meet those expectations. Ready Reading is our core curriculum used for whole group literacy instruction in 2nd grade. Data shows our K2 phonics instruction is strong. Ready Reading was selected to strengthen fluency and comprehension, so our students are better prepared as readers. In Ready Reading, students read complex text across a wide range of genres, including both informational and literary text. Text selections are relevant and include real-world formats to build authentic reading experiences. Texts are intentionally chosen to help students grow in vocabulary, background knowledge, and comprehension. Reading selections are thematically organized to build content knowledge in science and social studies. As students read and write within these themes, they develop academic vocabulary and domain-specific language. Ready Reading integrates reading, writing, speaking, listening, and language standards through connected tasks.
On the next slide that you'll see, we have 2 teachers, Ms. Godbold, who's actually here tonight, and Ms. Cito, showing examples of guided support during the Ready Reading implementation. So check it out in action.
I'm confused, Dakota. I don't know what's happening in this picture. What can I do to help me figure out what's happening in this picture? What should I do? What do you think? I'll give you a hint. It's green.
Read the green.
Read the green. The green is called a caption. That's right. It says a pueblo made of clay. That's a lot of clay. Okay, then we have our next one. Ooh, I don't know what's happening here. Easton, what's happening here?
And it's a long house made out of tools and tree and bark.
How'd you know that?
You just read the caption.
Ooh, Daniel, he just read the caption. That was really smart. Now I know what's happening in this photograph.
Go ahead and read question me. What are you writing? A pueblo made All right, so we had bark, right? See where we got bark from? A wigwam made of bark. Wood. So what other material should we write here? Wood. Perfect. And I'll come back for pueblos when you're ready. Perfect. So now let's read number 8. So let's start thinking of a.
And next, we're going to hear some testimonials from our newly Teacher of the Year, Miss Clark, and 2 of her second graders.
I like all of the cool features and all the cool facts about the stories. My favorite part about Ready Reading is the challenging stories and hard questions.
As a former 3rd and 4th grade teacher, I really love Ready Reading because it helps prepare our 2nd graders for what's coming ahead and gives them exposure to instruction that they will see in the future.
And then the additional piece is this unanticipated bonus of the writing development. So of course, we're focusing on fluency, we're practicing comprehension, but now this writing has just really organically matured and developed with this program. Looking at the slide that you have in front of you, you can see how we started using graphic organizers and then how it's progressed into more written organizers, and just their writing in general has become such more independent and much more mature. The books that you have, so I've tagged 3 different parts. The orange, that's kind of where we began at the beginning of the year. So you can see the graphic organizers. You can also see a lot of doodling and some drawing and some just, maybe unsure of themselves. And then if you would flip to the blue tab, you're going to see how students are starting to annotate and use strategies to help them select their answers or cross out answers. And then the pink is going to show you kind of where we're right now currently with their written response. And so just this natural progression that has organically occurred with our writing through using this program.
I shared this at the last board meeting. Back in 2012, when I first moved back to the United States to teach in Moore County, I had a colleague, I was teaching 5th grade, and I had a colleague say to me, you can have students who are great readers, but not great writers. But you will never find a student who is a great writer who is not also a great reader. And that has really stuck with me since 2012, which is a long time ago now, apparently. And that is the unanticipated joy of this program, is that we have students writing now, again. And I want to give a lot of hope and encouragement to East Mooresville and Mooresville Intermediate, that we are sending you some very strong readers and comprehenders. And I think you're going to have a lot of fun with what's coming your way next year. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Thank you very much. So inspiring.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Progress is amazing.
And look, parents, books. They're writing in books.
Love it.
All right, next up, we have Parkview Elementary. We'll be sharing a little bit about turning iReady data into math growth.
We were going to bring Snard. He's in my office, but we just thought that might not be a good idea, seeing that step right there keeps taking people out.
Gotta get a ramp over there.
He really is in my office, but we had a whole conversation. Maybe we could stand here and talk about it, but we decided against it. Not that was a good idea. Do we click? Uh-oh. Okay. All right, so last year, we did kind of introduce you to, we are springboarding into iReady at the K2 level. And one of the things that we really focused on at Parkview was getting our students engaged with it. So last year, we really did a lot with trying to get them excited. What is iReady? How do we use iReady? Their lessons passed, and just kind of try to get them involved in understanding what iReady was for the school. This year, we kind of shifted that focus from the students and really kind of focused it back on the teachers and them learning more in terms of digging into their data. So that's where we're kind of focusing on that. These charts right here are looking at the domains and looking at the percentages where the kids should be falling into their skill scores. Of course, with the greens and the yellows and the reds, we know that means where they are progressing and, meeting those expectations at grade level. So just wanted to kind of put that in there so you would know the different areas that they're working through on those domains. All right, so in our PLC, when you come there in our PLC rooms, right outside, we still do our student data wall where our teachers come in when they come in and they actually still color in those charts, showing that their classes are getting their lessons passed. We still have Uply going around. The kids still want that stuffed animal in their classroom. They don't want to give it up. And then this year, Ms. Granger has added, we still have our weekly announcements, and the kids can come to her classroom. She's added a spinning prize wheel, and then she also has a treasure box. And the teachers actually get to change what they're looking for each week. So it's not just about whether or not they're getting their lessons passed or they met a certain goal. They can also talk about the growth that they're making. So the teachers can kind of submit those names in, and that way they can also, they can make different progress throughout the week, the weeks that they're being called up. But what we've added this year is the next slide. This kind of shows we have the bulletin board outside for the students, and then inside we have this individual student data wall, and this is just for our teachers. So as you can see, we have our kindergarten, our first grade is in the middle, and second grade is on the end. And our teachers actually fill those cards out at the beginning of the year. Ms. Granger actually went to a PD workshop on it and learned there's on the cards, there's information for each of the students that they have to fill out when they took their BOY assessment. And then in MOY, they move those cards. So you can see that movement. You see yellow cards in the green. That's because those kids have moved, and that's their growth. On the back, we have some information on those cards if they're EC services, if they're receiving ML services. So just a quick visual as we're coming in, and we can just kind of see that progress over time. So that's just those quick visuals so the teachers can kind of see what we're doing. So now I'm going to have these ladies. These are two of our PLC activators for first grade. Kind of gave that away. And going to talk about what we're doing when the teachers are coming into their PLCs and digging into that data.
Well, going back to the other one, it was such an awesome thing to see the growth. Like when we first did it, you see it, but when we got to move and actually see, wow, look at all those reds that have moved up, and look at all those yellows who are now green. Just seeing the visual of it, like, really brought it into perspective of how well these students are moving and how much they are growing.
I need the mic. I need the mic. I'm not as loud as her. And excuse our appearance. We just came back from a field trip at 5 p.m.
Dedicated.
Okay, so at mid-year, each grade level sat down and we kind of talked about which students are meeting the typical growth, but we wanted to dig in deeper of our higher kids also. How can we have them show growth? So we looked at which students are close, which domains are barriers, and what instructional adjustments are needed. So we really looked at each of the 4 domains that iReady has, which are numbers and operations, algebraic thinking, and measurement and data, and geometry. And then we adjusted those students who weren't in the domains that they're not like at the first grade level in those domains, or maybe if they are above the first grade level, to move them into a higher level so that to challenge them, so that we would see growth with those students.
So we opened it up, we opened up their iReady, and we looked to see exactly the lessons they had passed, what they had been doing, what their upcoming lessons are, what they are actually doing in the program. So often we let these programs take over, but we don't really dig in and see what the kids are doing. So our goal this year is to really dig in and see what these kids are doing, see what adjustments we can make. Oh, you're not slated to make your typical growth. Why is that? Is it because you haven't seen any information on measurement and data, but that is one of our test points? Well, let's move some things around and get you some measurement and data to see if we can increase your score in that section. So to make sure that we are hitting everybody, we've created this doc. And so every week during PLC, we spend 20 minutes-ish. Our goal is to hopefully get 2 kids picked out a week to really dig in, make sure they're on the path that they need. If some adjustments need to be made, adjusting those paths, and then we mark what we did. So that way, when they go back and take their next growth monitoring, we can see if those adjustments worked, to see if we need to maybe tweak some more. And it's so funny because my kids, when they pop up on and you've changed some path things, you've had to assign lessons, they get a blue box instead of a green box. And so now my kids are like, well, where's my blue box? I want a blue box. I was like, your blue box is coming. You're next week. So they're excited to get those blue boxes and really try hard when they get those blue boxes, because I think there's something really, really special.
So if you look at the image in the top right where it says monitor domain progress, if you see those blue lines and where the circle is, that's where the student is on those lessons. So if you look at this student hasn't had any lessons in measurement and data or geometry in the grade 1 level. So we can adjust it so that they are exposed to those and they can meet those goals. Because they won't get to those domains until they get to 2nd grade in the other domains.
Any questions? Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're in the middle of this meeting, but announcement for the next regularly scheduled meeting will be April 7th, 2026. That will be
Here.
be located here. Public comment.
Yes, sir, we have one person signed up, Anaya Jones. Ms. Jones, as you come up, just let you know you've got 3 minutes to speak. Mr. Neckmeyer will keep your time over there. When you get to 1 minute, the light will turn yellow. And when you get to red, it'll be time is up. We'd ask you to reserve your comments to general comments, not attacking anybody or doing anything directly, and we'll be fine. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Anya Jones, and I'm the parent of a student athlete at Mooresville High School. On February 13th, before the varsity girls basketball game at Lake Norman, several members of the girls basketball team made non-consensual physical contact with members of our cheerleading squad, including my daughter. I know our athletic director, the principal at Lake Norman, and the NCHSAA were informed of this incident. That same night, 2 other incidents occurred, and the district has acknowledged them in some fashion. What I cannot understand and find acceptable is the district's silence towards its own families. One of those incidents involved an opposing player being injured during the game. That matter was acknowledged, contact was made with the student's parents, protocols were followed. I want to know who decided that the incident involving our athletes did not warrant any level of acknowledgement or communication. Who made the determination that an out-of-district student was more worthy of care, communication, and protection than the young women in your own school? I am deeply disheartened by the minimization of the situation, the lack of communication, the lack of acknowledgement, and the lack of demonstrated concern for the well-being of our students. Your silence was not neutral, it was a choice, and the message it sent was our children did not matter enough. As a military transplant, I understand small town dynamics exist. What I do not understand is prioritizing the protection of reputation over the protection of students. The incident was witnessed and was reported, yet parents followed the district's own guidance, see something, say something, yet you did nothing. Your inaction communicated to a group of young women that being touched without consent is something that they are expected to tolerate, that what happened to them did not rise to a level of importance. You may not fully grasp the damage of silence. You may not fully grasp the damage that silence causes. When students report something inappropriate and receive no response, they learn to not report it the next time. That their safety is negotiable, and that this district cannot, and if this district cannot address what some may consider smaller incidents, they cannot be trusted to act in more serious ones. The erosion of trust is on you to repair. I'm able to stand here tonight because I'm not from this town, and I am not afraid of retaliation or any type of retribution, but many parents are. That alone should sound an alarm as well. Those within this district who were informed made a decision, whether intentional or through neglect, that it was acceptable for students from another district to put their hands on our children without consequence or direct acknowledgement. As a parent, I will not allow my child to think that she should tolerate inappropriate behavior to protect someone else's reputation. I will always act in the best interest of my child and by extension her peers. That meant going beyond this district to ensure accountability via the sheriff's office. The line between right and wrong is clear. Protecting our children is not complicated. I'm asking formally and publicly for follow-up and that the district explain its silence, outline actions taken, and commit to ensuring that no student within this district ever feel dismissed or unprotected. Our children deserve better. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jones. That's all we have.
Okay, thank you. Items for information, Dr. Gardner.
Yes, sir. First up, we have our Skills for the Future update with Mr. Ribbick, Dr. Wade, and Mr. Orrell.
Good evening, Chairman Whitfield, board members, Dr. Gardner. In our strategic plan, one of the goals for MOA is to develop interpersonal skills aligned to Portrait of a Graduate. And that's exactly what being a part of this Skills for the Future pilot is helping us to do. It is helping us train our students and educate our students in the durable soft skills that are aligned to Portrait of a Graduate, and we're very excited about this and very excited to share with you about our progress this evening. So what is this pilot? It is about cultivating and measuring durable skills for sustained success in work and society. And it is part of a $4 million funded initiative. We are in a partnership with NCDPI, ETS, Patel from Kids, AASA, and the Carnegie Foundation. And what we really like about this pilot is that it's focused on the NC Portrait of a Graduate. As I said, skills that we want our students to have when they graduate, and as you'll hear later on, are skills that our business leaders are asking our students to have. Our students are not just a number, they're not just a test score. Our students are beyond that, and we want to show that they can achieve these skills and will with this pilot. So right now, for the first semester we just finished, the emphasis was on student collaboration. So teachers brought into their lessons and their work, having students collaborate to achieve goals and to complete their assignments. And we are hoping that this will prepare students for a wide range of post-secondary options. So as I stated, that this pilot is aligned to our strategic plan. It's part of the state's focus on durable skills, and as I said, Portrait of a Graduate. It prepares students for future readiness. As I said, it's what our local businesses are asking for, and you'll hear more about this later on. It will enhance our district's career and college readiness goals to enroll, enlist, and employ 100% of our students, and as I said, these skills will help students achieve that. And it builds not only our students' capacities, but our educators' capacity. It's helping our teachers to grow as well. It's helping our teachers to be able to focus on, as I said, more than just, I'm just worried about my scores. Because we know we want more than that. We want our students to graduate, ready for their secondary careers, and we want our teachers to be able to help our students prepare for that.
So components of the pilot program include professional development. Our cohort participants are required to attend the kickoff event and the 2 virtual sessions. The first session talks about where they learn about the rubrics from the portrait of the graduate. And the second virtual session is centered around the performance tasks that are aligned to the performance or the portrait of the graduate as well. There are weekly office hours for our participants who are just have questions or they're struggling with something. They can hop on the office hours there and ask those things. In addition to that, there are network opportunities where the cohort participants from all 4 districts can come together and share the great things that they're doing, that their students are doing, and ask questions about best practices and how to implement this within the work that they are currently doing. The next thing is there are some community partnerships. The next one is March 25th. If you are interested in being a part of that, it's March 25th from 5:30 to 6:30. Those are virtual. And during those, they invite business leaders to come in to hear what our students are currently doing so that they are aware of the things that we are trying to get our students to be able to do for them. There's artifact development, which there's 2 parts to that. That is some of the artifacts that our students are uploading that Dr. Wade will talk about in a little bit. But there are also coaching and PD materials that our non-classroom participants can upload as well. And finally, the goal is to create a future-ready transcript that communicates our competencies from our students in the durable skills. So the work of the pilot program right now is focused on our grades 9 through 12 students, with the semester 1 work focused on collaboration, as Mr. Ribick said. The teachers, they collect and submit the artifacts, and then they use the portrait of the graduate rubrics to provide feedback on those artifacts that the students get. And the cohort participants are also eligible for up to $1,650 worth of stipends if they complete all the components to all three semesters that they have the option of working. Finally, this slide right here, this lists our pilot participants. I would like to point out that these cohort members include members from tested and non-tested core subjects, as well as both performance and career-based electives. And before I turn it over to Dr. Wade, I do want to say that a couple weeks ago, I was at the NC Ed Connect Symposium, and I went to the Skills for the Future pilot session, and our staff members and students' work was highlighted through that entire session. So it gave me a sense of pride being a part of Mooresville and seeing the great work that our students and teachers are putting out there for this pilot.
All right, so you've heard a little bit about what this looks like as a state level. I'm going to talk a little bit more about what's actually happening in our classrooms and spaces as part of our Mooresville involvement. So like Mr. Ribick and Mr. Orrell mentioned, what our teachers are doing are designing experiences that incorporate both their content and the durable skills. So think of it like an Amazon box, right? So the box itself is the durable skill, and what's inside the box is the yummy content that we want all of our kids to learn. If you ship an empty box with just a skill and no content, when you get that box, you're like, what do I do with this? Like, it doesn't help me, right? It's the package together that has to make it work. And so we don't want our teachers stopping instruction and saying, all right, we're gonna do a collaboration project today. We want our students to see that their academic skills and their durable skills go hand in hand and they are not siloed, right? That you use those durable skills to learn and engage with our content. And that, as Mr. Orrell mentioned, was why we were intentional in making sure that this will work for EOC classes, CTE performance-based classes where we have state test accountability, because we all know that if it doesn't work for that, it probably is not going to have a long-term future in the state of North Carolina based on our state's current accountability model. So thinking about what our teachers have created, they have worked very hard to make sure that they are incorporating not just the portrait of a graduate skill, but the particular focus areas underneath each skill. So, for example, under collaboration, one of the things that they need to work on is being able to develop an effective team norm and team contract. Who's going to do the work? How are we going to work together? So it makes it a lot more concrete for our students and for our teachers because they're really digging into those portrait of a graduate skills. And as part of that, we are also tying into the work that we've been working on for several years now with our portrait of the graduate, and being embedded in our daily curriculum. It's also part of our strategic plan measurement. You have heard about that previously in our survey about how often our students have the opportunity to work together, et cetera. So our teachers are doing a great job of being very reflective about what worked well. Some of the big ahas they've had, for example, are, I just assumed my kids would know how to give feedback. Well, guess what? They don't. And so we have to explicitly teach routines and procedures for how to give and then also how to receive feedback as well. So those are just a couple examples of the things that our teachers are doing. This image is of Shakespeare Sock Puppet Theater, and it, as Mr. Orrell mentioned, has been previewed in many places across the state. As an example, this is from Ms. Phillips, an English 4 teacher. So then our students, the stress of the remote. Thank you. What our students are experiencing is how to work in teams similar to what they will have to do in whatever workforce or college or military environment that they go into. These are skills that transfer for all future pathways. And so as part of that work, they're not just doing the work of learning the content. For example, this project from Ms. Parks's class was examining different industries within North Carolina and how that contributes to our economy, so relevant to them in terms of where am I going potentially in my future. But it had elements built in throughout the entire task that touched on different portrait of a graduate skills. And then within that, once they finished, this is an example of the evidence that was uploaded by one of the students. So they uploaded their project and their own reflection of it. And so through that process, our students are also developing the portrait of a graduate skill of learner's mindset, which is understanding how do I learn? Where do I need to grow? What are the steps that help me become better? And where am I strong, and where do I need to maybe work a little bit more? So our students are seeing that. And the nice thing about this is that our researchers who are developing this eventual transcript are really getting a wide body of work. I will say that when we first started this, some of the reflections from our students were perhaps a little weaker than we might have hoped. So as I mentioned, we're teaching that reflection skill separately as well as how do I reflect on my work? How do I grow as a learner? So this process has been very iterative. I think that's a great word for it as we have learned through it. So you saw on the list of pilot participants that there are some non-classroom staff. That includes counselors, media coordinators, instructional coaches, central office staff, administrators. And so they are not working directly with students in the classroom, although that is an option for them. Most of ours have decided that they are going to develop materials that will build capacity among our school for the people who are not yet participating or who are working with the teachers to help them use some of the procedures that we want them to use to teach collaboration or to teach critical thinking. So for example, we have developed a lot of PD around critical thinking skills as part of our school improvement goals on rigor in the past couple of years. And so we're now incorporating those in providing that PD both through PLCs, through optional PD. We have a March Madness optional PD going on at the high school this month, and of course through our required PD days as well. And so the other path for our non-classroom staff was to help students add their out-of-school experiences, representing that our kids have a lot more to bring to the table than even what happens within our four walls. So helping them recognize, how does my internship that I have through CTE teach me collaboration? How does my experience doing job shadowing help me learn about myself and what my strengths and my weaknesses are? How do I build the personal responsibility of even reaching out and figuring out what my career path might look like? And so it's really important to us as a district that we represent all of those pieces. Our kids are doing amazing things both inside and outside of school, and we want them to have that record and that pathway of things that they have done that prepare them for those high-wage careers that we want all of our graduates to have access to. So in terms of the timeline, as Mr. Orrell mentioned, we started this in the fall. It was maybe a bit of a rocky start, as they have said a couple times, they're building this plane as they fly it, and so there were quite a few delays, but we really got rocking and rolling around October. And so I think every one of our cohort 1 participants who is continuing on finished all of the requirements from semester 1. And so we were very pleased with that. And this follows a similar process. So now those cohort 1 teachers are now in second semester, and they are coaching our new cohort who is just starting this semester. And then this semester's teachers will coach in the fall when we have another group of educators start, and also potentially coaching outside of our district with some of the other school districts that are working in there. So there is a plan for sustainability and for this to move beyond the work within our district and to further spread these skills to all students. This is you.
So where we are right now is that for the first semester, we had 10 staff members in the first cohort that were trained and have been uploading their artifacts. So the second semester, we'll have 12 staff members, 10 of them being teachers, to start with cohort 2, and they had their training last month. We had 182 students involved in the first cohort and 349 artifacts uploaded. So as we said, it was a interesting start, but we know as we ended the first semester, we've seen a lot of success, and we see our students are very much benefiting from the work that they've been doing aligned to the collaboration.
All right, as mentioned again previously, this project was a great fit for us because it is already connected to what we are hearing from our other partners and community partners and business leaders about what they want our graduates to be leaving here, leaving Mooresville with. And so we have, gotten a lot of feedback from our CTE internship supervisors, from our CTE advisory council, and all of those groups are telling us the same thing, that they need these skills, that they need to be able to they can train a lot of students in, or future employees in particular skills, but these soft skills are something that they are expecting them to come already having in hand. And so we are really proud that our CTE program feeds into our local community, as well as many of our other graduates who choose to attend college or serve in the military and then come back here. And so we are excited that those skills will help develop Iredell County as well into being a great place to work, live, and learn. And so we have been intentional about recruiting additional partners to work with us on this task. Mr. Ribick and I spoke to the Iredell Economic Development Council in December and put out a plea for our business leaders to consider partnering with us. Some of the barriers that we've heard in previous cases is they can't commit to a long-term or a full high-scale thing. And so our key message there was there are ways to help us that are very minimal and very small. And if we can package a bunch of those together, it could really make a huge impact. So for example, as a guest speaker, would you be willing as a data analyst to come and talk to our math classes who are part of this pilot about what my job involves beyond math skills? What do I need in terms of communication and collaboration? That could be a 45-minute one-time investment if you were to come and speak to some of our students. And any career would work. So I'm going to sell this also. I hope anybody listening online or in our newsletters, we would love to have you. Parents, we have amazing parents in this district. If you could spare us any amount of time and come in and talk to one of our classes about how you use these soft skills in your career, it helps our students understand the why behind what we are preparing them for. Same thing with mentorships. That doesn't even have to be in person. That could be done and handled virtually. So if you're interested in working with a young student and helping them develop some of these skills, but you maybe travel for your job and aren't able to come into the school building, we'll work with you. Same thing for job shadowing. You don't even have to do anything. You just have to go to work. So for example, if I had a student who was really interested in learning empathy, maybe they would like to job shadow Mr. Whitfield for a day, for example, and see all of the different types of things that happen as a lawyer, right? And so no extra work on you. You just need to, we'll get them there, we'll bring them home, we'll give them lunch. You don't have to do anything. It won't cost you anything. And so we've been working really hard to try and recruit those partners to come provide those additional experiences for our students, and also to make sure that as we're doing that, our students are then recording them in that online platform and that experience list, so to speak, of how that helps them grow and be prepared. So I have the final word. They always let me go last, right? So please, 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 if you are interested in helping us, even on the teeniest, tiniest little level of anything related to jobs, careers, or any of these soft skills, please reach out to us and we will get you hooked up. It's a great opportunity to be involved in your local schools. Are there any questions?
I did, the collaborative event that y'all are gonna have online where you talked about what businesses are coming in to watch what we're doing. What kind of response have you had from our community? Do we have like, I'm thinking chamber members, like county commissioners, town people, because often you'll walk out in the community, they don't teach the kids this at the high school and they don't really understand what we're doing. So what kind of response have you had from them?
So we have not had a ton of response yet. Now remember, that was December, and it's a longer process sometimes with businesses than, we would like, or people went on holiday break and maybe forgot about it. But the Iredell EDC has been a great partner for us and has put that information in their newsletters that they send out to members as well. But we also know that the best way to get someone connected is through a personal outreach. And so if you know somebody and say, hey, I'd love for you to do this. If everybody in our community or every parent in our community, even just our high school community, asked one person they know, we could have a whole slew and we could
The
fill it.
online event, is it like an hour or two? Like what happens during that? Like,
So I think there's two different things that we're talking about. We have one type of online event where the community members and business leaders come in and meet with the people who are leading the collabs and talk about business involvement and how can we get involved. And some of our leads have come from those events of community groups coming in and participating in those virtual events. Those are an hour, typically, I think they're either 5 or 6 o'clock at night. The other piece that I mentioned that we are looking to create experiences for our Mooresville High School students could be a virtual experience where you drop into a class. It could be 10 minutes. It could be an hour. Our classes are 82 minutes. We'll take you for as long as you would like. I think some of our tested subjects might object to maybe giving up that much time, and probably no one wants to hear 82 minutes
but the
of
first
that,
event you're referring to, would that be more of like an education platform for a business to learn about this pilot program
Yes,
or no?
absolutely. And so those events, they're called, there's a networking event and then there's a community partnership event. And that one is, I think, March 25th. Thank you. And so anybody could come to that. You don't have to be part of the pilot.
If we had a business and they were like, we
Yep.
want to learn more about this program, that's where they would
100%.
go.
Would you like a flyer that you could
Yeah.
share? I'd be
Can
happy to
you
give you a
share the
flyer that
flyer?
you could share.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, I think if you share the
I mean,
flyer,
and that's
then
not
awesome.
Mooresville specific, right? It's about the program as
It's
a
about the
whole.
program as a whole. And so there will be representatives from the other districts that are also part of this pilot. Iredell Statesville was with us in the first cohort. And then second cohort included Kannapolis, Caldwell as well.
And maybe that could get the community excited about the potential for what could
Yeah, no.
happen here if they're seeing it on a
Absolutely.
more national
Absolutely.
scale.
I'll be happy to get you a flyer for invitations for all of those things.
Please, and also if you can get like a direct contact of who the individuals should be contacting. Is it you?
So again, it will depend on the event. If it's a local school event, it would probably be me for the high school. And then if it's the community collabs or the networking community events, we have a registration link that usually Mr. Oral receives. So we'd probably send those to him.
Thank you.
And then too, I just want to mention what a great growth opportunity for our own staff, right? We focus on their growth and learning to teach their own, and then the possibility of learning to, teach people on a national level in other districts is really.
And that is so fascinating too. We did a PD at one of our schools on how to give and receive feedback. And as part of that, they had to incorporate part of their feedback into the second round of response. And we had teachers who were saying, well, I didn't really want to incorporate that feedback because I didn't agree with it. And that was such a teachable moment right there of like, see, this is why we have to learn how to do this, because we, even as adults, struggle to admit that we, need feedback for growth or consider potential changes. And so it like proved the exact point of what we were trying to do.
And I think when you look at it, we go back to the slide, I think you said 100% of all students just getting the opportunity. How do we celebrate how all students win? How do we win together? I think when we've talked about this as a board, like we do a lot of stuff for athletics, but how can we get that CTE component to where we celebrate kids getting jobs, kids getting opportunity to make money and do great things that eventually, when that ball does stop bouncing, they have a plan B. So I love it. I think it's a great opportunity, and I hope the community does invest in this opportunity.
I understand that this is a pilot that's focused on the upper grades, but are we as a district looking at ways in which we can, in a purposeful way, you really start building these same kinds of skills with our younger children?
Absolutely. So the state has created Portrait of a Graduate skill rubrics and ICANs, those tools that I referenced for all grades, K through 12, and we've already done the work in both elementary and secondary, and incorporating that into our instruction. Our gateway projects, for example, are strong evidence of that as well, where we have to explicitly teach those. For example, one of the things that I'm doing as part of my project is training our instructional coaches in middle school, and now they're going out and leading that PD with their teachers, so it'll be a bit of a trickle down. I don't believe that the state intends to move that down because of the focus on the transcript as the outcome, which doesn't apply for K-8. But that is already a part of our work, as you know, Dr. Gardner is deeply committed to that work, and we are very clear that that's an expectation in our instruction.
I think we need to start lobbying Raleigh intensively to look at, especially kindergarten. We're missing strategic times in the development of a child to build these kinds of skills. And it will not just help them with job readiness, but their pathway through school, they'll be better able to participate and learn. And we're missing the boat by pushing the academics as hard as we are. And I know I'm preaching to the choir, but where many of you are, but we've got to get the state to revisit that. And I see nationally, there's a lot more discussion about this. I think people are realizing that we are doing a grave disservice to our youngest students.
Yeah.
I will add that last week we had the opportunity to go out to the Carnegie Foundation, this group here, and we looked at a couple school accountability models. And it's interesting, for example, Pennsylvania, as part of their accountability model, has the academic piece, but then they also have a piece that is around career and future readiness. And so they are rewarding those things like CTE credential attainment and participation in work-based learning. And so I do see that that is happening in other states, which gave us a lot of hope that maybe someday we will see that here in North Carolina as well. And to your point, if we are able to do that in our lower grades and focus on the play, that's where they're going to learn things like cooperation. Like cooperation in a kindergarten classroom looks like, you know, sharing your favorite color marker, even though I don't really want to, with my friend. You know, and that
Skills.
learning
Skills.
that skill there
Skills.
is what we need. We need our kids to develop those skills early so that we're not still trying to teach that when they get to high school. It's too late by that point.
I agree.
And then one thing I see in potential of this program is also recruiting our alumni to come back.
Absolutely.
That's going to be huge. We have a lot of great people doing great things from Mooresville, and they don't get a chance to come back and speak on things.
100%.
So I see this being a bridge of that, so that'll be great.
Shout out to Mrs. Royal, who actually maintains a list of our alumni who are willing to come back and speak. And so that would be another easy platform for us to send out a plea based around whatever work you're doing and how you incorporate some of these soft skills into them.
Definitely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great stuff.
I'll be happy to participate.
See, your plea worked.
Yep. Commercial.
You didn't have to do that.
All right, next up, we have some of the same individuals, but Mr. Rivik, Dr. Wade will be joined by Ms. Conley this time to talk about our summer instructional program.
Okay. Okay, Chairman Whitfield, board members, Dr. Gardner, it's hard to believe, but we're going to be talking about the summer and some of the summer programs we'll be offering to our elementary and secondary students, and I'll let Ms. Conley and Dr. Wade talk about what opportunities we will have for our students.
We started talking about it when it snowed. We were ready.
Yeah, we're ready for it, but.
Good evening. It's great to see everyone. So we're going to share a little bit about some of the summer programs. Most of these will be a review, a lot of the same programs that we have offered for multiple years. We're going to start off talking about some of our elementary programs. We're going to be hosting again our Y Readers program that will be serving our current kinder and first grade students. Super excited because we are going to be actually adding a class though. So we will have 5 of those classrooms. We went from 3 to 4 to 5. So that's great news because we'll be able to serve more of our students. Then that will be a 6-week program. Then we'll also be having our Read to Achieve program, which serves our 2nd and 3rd grade students. That is a 5-week program, really focused on our 72 hours of literacy instruction, and we will be having 6 classrooms for that particular program. So we're hoping to serve between 80 and 100 at our Y Readers and 100 to 120 students for our Read to Achieve programs. So those are our 2 elementary, and I'm going to scoot over for Dr. Wade.
All right, so we will again have a traditional high school summer school, which will be focused on credit recovery, and that will take place both at NF Woods My Way program as well as at our main campus. Due to the change in state policy, one thing that you will not see us doing this year is makeup time, because that no longer is an option for our students. So that is a change there. And then we will have a secondary jumpstart as we have done before. We see that when students transition to secondary school, where they are being mixed up a lot more and with a lot more teachers and new friend groups and big buildings, that those students really need an opportunity to build connection and community spirit. And so our web and our link programs, I would say, are unrivaled in terms of creating those opportunities and experiences for our students. And we will, again, offer that to those students transitioning at the secondary grade level.
A little bit of a logistical information as well. So we will be offering transportation for all of our programs. We will also be offering breakfast and lunch will be provided at those sites as well. Camp will run from Monday through Thursday to follow our summer schedule. And one of the pieces too is that we want to highlight that all of our programs will be led by a certified teacher. We are so blessed in Mooresville to have not only wonderful teachers, but wonderful teachers that are willing to work over the summer. And so I just want to give a shout out to all of our elementary teachers, because we have a ton that are interested in working. So that's a great problem to have.
So as Ms. Conley mentioned, we are transitioning our summer school at the high school as well. We have in the past used Apex, which is an online credit recovery platform. And we've had a certified teacher facilitator in the room, but when students finished, they were able to leave. And so we've had a lot of conversations with the counseling department and the administration at MHS about students potentially recovering a lot of credit in not as much work, and also feeling like students who are doing the online platform are maybe not getting the skills that they need to be successful in the future class. And so we are moving the high school to be a face-to-face, fully teacher-led summer school credit recovery component this summer at the main campus. And you'll also notice for our date that we have moved it up a week, because we now have the ability to retest for high school students during the school year, as we did in December. Everything except for English 2 will be back by that point. So we're hoping that maybe moving it earlier in June will be a little bit more inspiring for some of our students. Dr. Marsh, I think you have a question already.
Yeah, obviously, we can't offer the opportunity for every course offered.
No.
So what can
Sure.
students at the high school take?
So historically, we have offered graduation requirements only, first of all. Then we have in the past prioritized certain content areas that were based on promotion requirements, but that is no longer, English is no longer a promotion requirement. It's solely credit-based. So currently, our plan was to offer the same amount of classes. We, a little bit maybe unlike elementary, it is harder for us to staff at the secondary level. And so currently we do not have teachers who are interested in teaching in the summer for social studies, but we are still going to offer biology for science, because that is an EOC area. And then we will have the full math and English. And there are some requirements that students have to meet to be able to go to summer school, both by how many points they did not pass the course by, because you can only recover so much content in that 2-week period. And so if a student, for example, were to have a 30 in the class, there is too much content for us to honorably award credit after only 7 days of instruction. And so those students will take credit recovery during the course of the school year. So there still will be an opportunity, but we typically have not had a ton of students take us up on summer school. So the other times are on there, as I mentioned. Everything else pretty much stays the same. Special shout out to Woods. They do almost a month-long summer school that helps our new enrollees into the Woods program get ahead, get adjusted, start making those relationship and connections with parents and teachers. And so that is really instrumental for those students who are coming in, and they also are very helpful in getting a lot of summer grads for us. You saw summer graduation on the previous slide there, as well as June 25th, and that partnership between our main campus and our Woods campus really helps us keep our graduation rate high, because we're able to get a bunch of students working with our teachers over that entire 5-6 week period. So we feel like we are prepared for that and excited to see what we do this summer. Are there any other questions from you, Ms. Conley?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, items for approval. Dr. Gardner?
Yes, sir. We will start with our 26-27 MGSD budget.
Good evening, Mr. Whitfield, Dr. Gardner, members of the board. So you have in your packet the proposed local current expense and capital outlay budgets for 2026-27 school year. This was covered in the Board of Education work session on January 27th, so hopefully you've had time to review it. There are a lot of unknown assumptions in this budget. It does assume a 4% salary increase across the board, which may we be so lucky. It also assumes a 25.5% retirement rate. The current rate is 24.67%. Obviously, until the General Assembly takes action, we won't know what that rate's going to be. It also assumes an $8,650 per employee health insurance matching. Right now, it's $8,500 for employees. So again, we won't know those exact numbers until hopefully the General Assembly passes a budget for next year. There are no new positions that are included in this local budget, and we are budgeting approximately $1.4 million right now in fund balance, which again, we try to be very conservative, underestimate revenues and overestimate expenses. So I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you may have, and if not, we just seek approval at this time for the proposed budget.
Any questions? If not, we have a recommendation to approve the 2026-2027 MGSD budget, which includes the current expense fund and the capital outlay fund. I'll entertain a motion.
So move.
And a second.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the 2026-2027 MGSD budget as presented. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, thank you. And I believe Ms. Davis is going to stay at the microphone for our BASP and STARS rates for 26-27.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So we are also requesting some additional pricing components. First, for our before and after school care program. As you all know, it's a self-sustaining program. So watching costs are very important. We would like to propose a fee for full day care on the teacher work days. Typically what has happened in the past for before and after school care is they have asked for parents just to sign up if they plan to send their child for full day care on teacher work days. The problem is our before and after school care program will staff according to the parents that signed up, and then maybe half or less than half will actually send their child. So this obviously causes a little bit of a strain on their budget. So we would like to propose a fee for full day care on those days, and it's a minimal fee of $20, just to ensure that the care is utilized as they sign up for it and after staffing commitments are made. Also, with this increase, we are asking for the STARS program just to help keep up with the increase in rising costs. The current rate that we have is $575 per month, which is a great deal for childcare. But that has been the rate since July 1st, 2019. And of course, we've experienced a lot of increase in cost and employee matching benefits and costs that the district has to cover. So we are going to request that the proposed rate for the STARS program be increased to $650 a month. And if approved, both new rate structures would go into effect July 1, 2026 for the 26-27 school year.
Okay, we have a recommendation to approve the before and after school program and the STARS rate increases. As previously discussed, $20 a day for the teacher work days. And as it relates to the STARS program, increasing the current monthly rate from $575 per month to $650 per month. These new charges going into effect, effective July 1st for the 2026-2027 school year. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right, next up, we have our board policies for a second read with Ms. McLean.
Good evening, Chairman Whitfield, Dr. Gardner, and members of the board. In January, I brought to you a large group of updates for your board policy. And tonight, we would like for you to vote on them. Unless you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those. Thank you.
Any questions? No. Okay, we have a recommendation to approve the Board of Education policies as presented. I'll entertain a motion.
So move.
Second. I have a motion and a second to approve the Board of Education policies as presented. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
And Dr. Gardner, it looks like the next item is a possible representative for the Legislative Committee for the North Carolina School Boards Association.
Yes, sir. So there's some information in your packet. The North Carolina School Board Association forms a legislative committee that our board has the opportunity to select a representative for. That needs to happen in open session via vote if we have someone on our board that has interest.
I'd be interested.
I've done it before, so I can, you'll enjoy it.
So we have a nominee. Anyone else? If not, I'll entertain a motion to nominate Ms. Bender.
So moved?
Second. I have a motion and a second to nominate Ms. Bender. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, we'll invite Ms. Davis back one more time as she has some budget amendments.
Okay, Mr. Whitfield, Dr. Gardner, members of the board, I'll be brief since this is standing between us and closing. The budget amendments in your packet include some state budget amendments. Our career and technical education did cash in 14 months of employment to dollars to use for students. We also received our summer reading camp funding for summer 2026. Dr. Albert and her team were busy getting some more developmental day grant funding, so that was also received. And we did have a small reduction in our EC allotment due to some EC headcount transfers. So those are the state amendments. In our federal, we did receive additional grant year 5 supplemental allotment funding for CTE, IDEA preschool, Title I, and the IDEA grant. And we did have some small reversions totaling $95 for grant year 4 funding that expired September 30th, 2025, and that was in Title III and IDEA preschool. So if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer those. If not, we seek approval for these budget amendments.
So if an EC student leaves, let's say between the December head count and the April head count, that costs us money?
Actually, they only do one head count now.
Okay.
So it's just one, but it is the last head count and the newest head count. If there is a child that transfers
So
out,
the
then
charters
we
get
get
to
reduced.
keep the kids, the money for the kids who leave, but we don't. I'm just saying, okay.
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
So I have a recommendation to approve the budget amendments as presented. This is a budget resolution for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2026. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the board amendments, the budget amendments as presented. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, well, it appears that it is that time for us to go into closed session. I will now entertain a motion to go into closed session to prevent the disclosure of information that is privileged and confidential, and for the additional permissible purposes listed in North Carolina General Statute 143-318, Part 11.
So move.
So I have a motion. Who's that? I'll get Deb. Yeah, Rakeem, seconded by Rakeem. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. All right. Motion to approve the personnel list as recommended by the superintendent.
So moved.
Second by somebody? Second. Same thing. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, no further business. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, that'll be AP. MV. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, all those opposed, motion carries. It is 8:31.